high. I don't believe that. What's going on here? All right. Graduates, friends and family of the graduates, it is my pleasure to be the first to address you after such a momentous crossing, both across this stage and across a new stage in life. I offer my congratulations to all of you who put so much work into earning a place here in your caps and gowns. Well done. There are also so many people to thank for arranging this ceremony. Above all, Heidi Giese. Where is she? She's still racing around. Boy, she did so much work. She deserves special recognition for organizing not only this event, but also the faculty, which is like the proverbial herding cats. Thanks go out to the ASU 3 administrative staff as well. Melissa Bowers, thank you so much. Actually, off script to both of you, I'm going to be the future head of the plastics department coming this year. I give a preemptive I'm sorry, help me, and thank you for your patience. And finally, I want to express Professor Lowell Bowditch's regrets for not attending today's ceremony and seeing her class of students walk the stage. Her own daughter is graduating today in Washington, and duty to family takes precedence. So, many of you have taken one or more of my courses, and thank you for that. Many of you have no idea who I am. So, as I said, I am Kevin Dykes. I'm professor of Mediterranean Archaeology and the incoming chair of classics and the director of the humanities program here. Now, in classics, we teach a broad range of courses. I don't just do archaeology and teach about material culture. I teach, for example, intermediate and advanced Latin, as well as ancient civilization and literature courses in translation. My favorite course of all has to be myth, Greek and Roman myth. What a window allowing us a view into the hopes and fears and prejudices and motivations of the Greeks and Romans. The Greek gods, created in the image of Greek men and women, behaved like Greek men and women, albeit in a highly exaggerated, divine-like manner, revealing so much about ancient social relations between rulers and ruled, men and women, themselves and foreigners, older and younger generations. Well, in my course, in the final third of my course, in myth, we delve into the lives of outstanding humans. Some of them semi-divine, all of them heroes or heroines in some capacity. In particular, we study quest heroes and quest heroines. They are universal protagonists. They appear in myths around the world and across eras. So standard is the archetypal hero's journey that the preeminent mythographer Joseph Campbell has organized them into what he calls the grand monomyth. All heroes' journeys share a single plot in which the quest hero leaves his world to enter a liminal space, a fantastic space, where he is tested, he encounters forces, undergoes trials, changes, until he emerges transformed with newly acquired powers to help his fellow man, right? Well, this model is not without problems. Where are the women in his plots? At most, they take roles that are secondary to the hero. They're some of the others that the hero encounters. Do heroines not have their own journeys? Well, yes, they do. Of course they do. Theirs in the whole corpus of myth are not as common as their male counterparts, nor are the reasons for and the outcomes of their journeys the same. In the mythical hero's journey, the hero strives to reveal his individual excellence. Women materialize to help him demonstrate this prowess. Heroes undertake quests to acquire a thing or a person to dominate. In the heroine's journey, the pattern is that the heroines value community. They value cooperation over individualism. They quest for connection, reunification, to understand and to serve the world rather than dominate. Now let's just accept that there are different plots for the hero's journey and the heroine's journey. But let's also recognize that these journeys are not necessarily gendered. As the scholar Gail Carragher recently showed, the gender of the protagonist can vary. The protagonist for either journey can be male, male-oriented, male-identified, female-identified, non-binary. Quest humans can travel through a hero's or a heroine's journey equally. But my God, here he is. He's using this time to deliver another lecture. Believe me, this is June. I am just as tired of delivering classroom lectures as the students are of hearing me deliver lectures. But, will this be on the exam? Well, it was. Now, do you want me to pay more tuition? No, this is pro bono. This is gratis. Right? The plus involving Quest humans, I'm bringing this up is because they stand across place and time, because they universally resonate. They are, and the Greeks recognize this, the Romans recognize this, these are metaphors for everybody's lives. You do not need to be Hercules, or Perseus, or Iphigenia, or Psyche, or even Luke Skywalker, or Laura Croft. Each and every one of you is on a unique and deeply personal quest. You are all quest humans. You enter this strange world, far from the familiar one of your youth, where you labored and you learned, and you are now emerging back to the world you left. You are changed people. And this ceremony is recognizing this change and celebrating your re-emergence. While you were here, you encountered people along the way. Like quest humans everywhere, past and present, you encountered helpers and you encountered villains. Now, there are many types of helpers whose common role is to assist you, to facilitate your quest. Likewise, there are many types of villains whose common role is to distract, to dissuade, to discourage you, ultimately to delay your quest. What does a villain sound like in the modern world? How might we recognize one? Well, for your edification, I raise one example, and this has been living rent-free in my head for 13 months, and it's so good to get it out. Last year, a truly unexceptional man, known for kicking a ball and being the teammate of Travis Kelce, beau of Taylor Swift. I should have fact-checked that. Is he still with Taylor Swift? Oh, lovebirds. Good. He is the beau of Taylor Swift. Gave the commencement speech at a college, which was not, thankfully, the University of Oregon. Among the pap that he spewed was this rusty nugget. Quote, "I want to speak directly to you briefly, because I think it is you, the women, who have the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross the stage and are thinking about all the promotions and the titles you're going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into the world. Make no mistake about it. This is a villain." Now, can you imagine hearing that? Having entered this strange world of the university to labor and learn and become new people, half of you emerging back into the real world, changed and learned. Because you are women, hear that your experiences and labors were misguided, even wrong. Now, the university administrators there, to their credit, gave a half-hearted condemnation of his message, understanding clearly that the tuition dollars of women are of equal value of men. Now, when I first heard this speech, I thought maybe this was a new type of villain. There are many types of villains, and one that only female quest humans must face. You know, I've had 13 months to think about it, and believe me, I have. And upon further reflection, I don't think this is the case. This is just, in fact, one of the oldest archetypal villain types. We shall call this villain type the gatekeeper villain. Now, the gatekeeper villain demands that all people be productive, but also dictates how each person can be productive. To be sure, they will distract and dissuade and discourage men just as well, who they deem not on the right path. And non-binary people, well, there is no proper path, no appropriate quest for them. The gatekeeper villain is sometimes difficult to detect because they might seem innocuous. They might overlay their intolerance with a cheap veneer of compassion. I'm only doing or saying what's best for you, right? Fortunately, this type is also one of the easier to vanquish. It only takes 3 words. And I'm going to teach you these 3 words right now. Last lesson, that's it. 3 words to vanquish the gatekeeper villain. Villain, screw you! Now, I myself, knowing myself, would tend to use the imperative form of another more colorful verb entirely, which propriety has precluded me from using in this setting, but you get the gist. The only power that they have is the power you grant them, and you do so by delaying your quest and spending attention on them. Grant them not a minute more of your time, nor a moment more of your thoughts. But still, contact with them can be disheartening. It's hard not to be discouraged when it seems that villains of all types, many of them even more destructive and threatening than our gatekeeper, are here, there, and everywhere in our time, that they may be gaining ground. But here's where myth, again, provides perspective. Myth teaches us to take a broader historical look, to examine the long arc of villainy. The history of humanity is a history of villains, and thankfully, of helpers. While the best defense against the villain is to ignore and to carry on, the best offense is to be a helper yourself. Be a helper, look for the helpers. Right? I got a footnote here. Footnote 1, fearing accusations of plagiarism, I hereby acknowledge Mr. Rogers' maxim, look for the helpers. There are always people who are helping, unquote. Indeed, if I sound even a little bit like that guru of humanity, I cannot be wrong. Being a helper is easy. Easier than the alternative. It takes a lot of energy to oppress, distract, dissuade, discourage. All of you are here in this commencement because you have an abiding intellectual curiosity. You came here to understand the world and to use what you gained in this liminal space to re-enter that world and make it better. Before you came to college, I imagine the traits that make for a good helper were inherent in you already. You have insight, you have critical thinking and reasoning skills, and you have courage. You understand that you don't need to understand another's destination to respect their deeply personal journey as well. Above all, be a helper to yourself. Trust yourself. Some of you may doubt that your journey has begun. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of retrospection to realize indeed that it had. Don't doubt your talents, and I trust, and don't sell yourself short. You are destined for great things. And you, I trust and know, are the quest humans that the world so desperately needs right now. This is what gives me hope about this generation. We are placing our future in remarkably talented, empathetic hands. And I speak for all of the faculty here in saying that we are extremely proud of you and look forward to the change that you bring. So one last thank you and congratulations.